Uh, I mean, there's not really any job or anything, but I recently started working at Wake Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I started teaching at a private school too. That's why you haven't been seeing me. Because
Okay.
I sent an email to Jean Marie. I was like, I'm just too busy with the job and everything. I'm not able to like do anything. I'm very glad that I got the job in Wake Tech. I think it's probably because through like a mutual friend. Like I have some
That's
of
how
my
it always
friends'
goes. Yeah.
husbands, they're
Yeah.
professors there.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was like, no way, that was such an easy interview. They just hired me. I was so glad that like I was able to like at least like play with like more stuff that fits me better. But recently, I think Duke had a position open up. I applied to it. I don't know. I mean, I've also reached out to like all the individuals in all the schools, and I don't know. I really hope I can work at like more colleges, but I'm still waiting for Duke. But I think like for like the colleges, they don't really need many people. That's the issue. Like they're not really like actively hiring. So I'm just hoping like if one day they do
Somebody
hire.
retires or moves. Or
Yes,
yeah.
that they might hire me.
Always going to be openings.
Yeah, I'm glad that at least I like I got a job, and then I got another job that fits my schedule perfectly. That I'm
Okay.
not just like relying on this job.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So now I'm very happy. I'm happy already, but eventually I want to because like with Wake Tech it's a very simple job. But when like the higher like the especially UNC or Meredith or Duke or like even the NC State, it's like a very huge department like chamber music, wind ensemble. I really want to do those, but it's really hard to get in. It's really hard. So I don't know. Maybe someday, especially like with like you recommending.
Yeah. We were at the symphony last night. We were doing. We did a Copeland symphony, and in the middle they had a little clarinet concerto that Copeland wrote,
Yeah.
and it was really kind of a duet between the clarinet and the pianist.
Yes,
Very
yes.
nice.
That's what I did when I went to college in Buffalo. I played a lot of these. I mean, it was very difficult, but it was very rewarding. That's what I really wanted to do is be a collaborator pianist, other than accompany someone.
Yeah.
It's very demanding, but I would do it. It's just that matter of I get. I had to step my foot in that door to like get the
Exactly.
job.
Got to
Yeah,
get in to
it's,
get
it's
in. Yeah.
yes, it's really hard, but I'm happy right now. At least I have a lot of jobs right now that keeps me busy.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will definitely let you know if I do land a
Sure.
job in
No.
like
But
those
if I hear
colleges.
something, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Because
that would be great.
Tatiana hasn't asked, so I don't know what her situation is even. But
She does like, right now. She plays almost full time here. I feel like it's. I don't know if she has any other job, but I think what Jean Marie said that she just moved to U.S. So I
yeah,
don't know if she's doing anything else. I could talk to her about it too.
that's okay. I can, yeah.
Yeah, I just I'm happy that I can like still work here a little bit,
Yeah.
still get this going, especially for like summer
Yeah,
break,
hang in
winter
there.
break.
We need
I
to.
can
We
still
need to accompany us. Yeah.
work here and then also work at other places, like do more things that I like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
maybe one day. I think one day I will get to work at those colleges.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our last music director, well, two music directors, had a partnership with Meredith. She was.
Yeah.
We had Meredith instructors come over here occasionally and help us with that. Yeah.
I think with Meredith is I think it's a private school or something. They're very I wouldn't say cocky or something. I mean I've reached out personally to all the colleges. Like at least like I would say half of the people that I reach out to, they always just like reply to me. They even ask for my recordings, but I never heard back from anyone from Meredith.
Oh.
It's so hard. Like
That's
they
why-
hire all the time on Facebook too, but they never really like talk back to me or anything.
That's why when I asked, remember I sent a letter to Yuri Yamamoto?
Yes, yes.
She was that person. She had, she said her contacts are gone.
Yeah,
at Meredith.
that's why I didn't reach out to anyone anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like some places you just have to have that kind of connection.
I guess
like,
so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard without
Yeah.
a lot of. But I'm glad I'm doing something. I'm doing
Yeah,
better.
so-
I'm doing better and better. Definitely doing better
Good.
and better.
Good.
Yeah, I will let you know. Definitely let you know. Yep.
Check, one. Good morning. Whether you are here in person or watching at home, it's good to be with you this morning. It's good for all of us to be together. As we gather together this morning, let me share a poem called Late October, written by Maya Angelou. Carefully, the leaves of autumn sprinkle down, the tinny sound of little dyings and skies sated of ruddy sunsets of roseate dawns, roil ceaselessly in cobweb grays and turn to black for comfort. Only lovers see the fall, a signal end to endings, a gruffish gesture alerting those who will not be alarmed that we begin to stop in order to simply begin again. Come, my friends, with our hearts open to both the challenges and the possibilities that this new day and new week bring, with our hearts to all that inspires, sustains, redeems, and transforms us. Come, let us worship together. Thank you to the UUFR Ensemble. The flaming chalice is the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the liberal religious tradition to which this congregation belongs. Will those of you here in person please stand as you are able for our chalice lighting? And if you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light it with us at this time. Please read along. As we kindle this flame, we recommit ourselves to nurturing the spirits of one another and the common good of the world we share. May the light of this flame be welcoming to all who seek a liberal religious home. For those of you already standing, I invite you to remain standing for our opening hymn. Our opening hymn this morning is number 388, Dona Nobis Pacem, which is Latin for "Give us peace."
So we're going to sing this once together and then 2 times as a round. And John and Pat and I will lead that half, and Linda and Kathy will lead this half.
Please be seated. You know, all of you should come on out to choir now. I heard you. My name is Warren Keys, and I'm glad to serve as part of your worship team this morning. Whether you are a first-time visitor or a long-time member, I'd like to offer you a very special welcome. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh, we are intentionally inclusive, liberally religious, and actively serving the common good of our shared world. So, whoever you are, and wherever you are on your own religious journey, you are welcome here. This morning, Judy Keys, one of our lay ministers, will be available in the front right corner of the sanctuary after the service to talk with anyone who might be experiencing any difficult circumstances in their lives and would like to speak to someone. I hope all of you will read through the chalice that was emailed to you on Friday about everything happening here around UUFR, or check out the upcoming events section of our website. I would like to highlight one special item coming up. This Saturday, October 25th, is a special one here at UUFR. We will have our annual Trunk or Treat event from 4 to 5 p.m. in our lower parking lot. You can sign up to decorate your vehicle and pass out treats, or you can just show up with your family in costume and get treats. Sign up in the chalice or at uufr.org. Our monthly Saturday social this Saturday, which will include a potluck, a game night, a song swap, and a labyrinth walk. That all will start at 5:30 following Trunk or Treat. We now have a special announcement from our search team.
Ooh, I'm a tall person. This is good. Good morning. My name is Sandy Pierce, and I'm a member of your search team. Congratulations to UUFR. Our survey closed with 338 participants, representing 48% of our membership. That is a phenomenal response. And today, during the first service, we concluded the last two of our searching circles with over 200 participants. Thanks to the Committee on Ministry for being note takers at 29 searching circles. We're very excited to move on to step 3 of our searching process, our congregational workshop called Breaking Barriers, Building Beliefs, or B4 for short. This is on Saturday, November 15th from 10 to 2 p.m. To make the workshop accessible to all, we will have a light refreshments at 9:30. We will serve lunch, and we have childcare. We're very excited that Reverend Patrice Curtis, who is the UUA's Transformational Interim Ministries Director, she will be facilitating this workshop. The search team has talked to her. She is warm, open, and very intentional. Through reflection and conversation and learning, we will explore questions like, what assumptions do we have about what our minister should look like or act like? How can we prepare to welcome the minister with gifts and skills our congregations needs, regardless of their identity? What can neuroscience tell us and our faith about recognizing and changing age, sex, gender, racial, and able-bodied biases? It promises to be a good time for us to interact as congregants before we call our next lead minister. Reserve your space as soon as possible so we can plan for refreshments, lunch, and childcare. You can make a reservation. There's a card with a QR code that's floating around upstairs and downstairs. You can do that online. There's a table downstairs where you can sign up, and there will be a link in this week's chalice, and there will be one on our website. Our survey and searching circles told us that one of UUFR's fundamental values is social justice. So let's live up to our name and attend this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy, and thank you, Search Committee, for all the hard work you're doing. We now have another special announcement. This time it's from our auction team.
Good morning. I'm Amber Nemux. Auction team's efforts have been fruitful so far. They're so fruitful that you can find a link to the catalog of goods and services up for auction in this week's chalice by visiting UUFR or by visiting uufr.org/auction. Online bidding on select auction items begins August 26th, that's next Sunday, at 7 p.m., and ends November 2nd at 7 p.m. So you want to go ahead and take a look at these items so you can act quickly when bidding opens next week. Fixed price items can sell out, and bidding will be competitive. So go ahead and peruse. You can also take a look downstairs at Social Hour because the items are on slides that are flashing across television down there. The live event will be here in the sanctuary on November 8th, starting at 4 p.m., when we serve hors d'oeuvres and beverages, followed by a silent and live auction that starts at 5 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to raise a lot of money to further the work of UUFR. If you have any questions or want to look at the catalog, come see us during coffee hour downstairs. So don't mess around and slip up. Go bananas during UUFR's 47th annual auction. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Thank you very much. Hope everyone will participate in that fabulous auction. Our in-person social hour this morning will be downstairs in Founders Hall. But at this moment, I now invite you to meet and greet your neighbor. Yeah, not a big crowd. Thank you, everyone, for greeting your neighbors. You can continue that conversation later downstairs in social hour. This is a time in our service when we acknowledge some of the joys and sorrows of our community. We do this because we believe a joy shared is a joy made greater, and a sorrow shared is made easier to bear. We have 3 items today. We begin with a joy from Jay Goodman, who says, "I thought I was going blind. Turns out I have something called secondary cataract, a film growing on my artificial lens. Just a quick laser zap at the ophthalmologist, other eye in 2 weeks. You can't believe the weight taken off my heart. I can again see myself in the bathroom mirror, and she states, or he states, I forgot how ugly I am. I'm sure that's not true. Okay, Marge Link on Wednesday will celebrate 91 years on the planet. Yeah. And 63 years as a member of this congregation. Yeah. Finally, Fran Wise reports that she is home and recovering from neurosurgery at UNC Chapel Hill. Fran sends thanks to the care team and her friends for their support, and to entertainer Billy Joel for naming her condition. You'll have to ask her about that. As we hold these shared joys and sorrows in our hearts and reflect on the joys, sorrows, fears, and hopes of our own lives, let's be together in stillness and in silence, opening ourselves to that spirit within us and amidst us, called by many names but known to every human heart, that leads us to a fuller, deeper, richer experience of life. After the silence, we'll sing hymn number 123. But now, let's be together in stillness and silence.
Good morning. My name is Russ Outcalt, and I'm a member of your board of directors. I will be downstairs at social hour after the worship service if you have any questions you'd like to ask me about the board, talk to me about any concerns you may have, or just say hi. We'd like to talk to you. I'd like to talk to you. For those of you, everything we do at UUFR is only possible because of the generous financial support so many of us provide. For those of you who have set up automated giving to UUFR or who send in a check by mail every month, I'd like to thank you now for your generosity. Here at UUFR, we designate one Sunday each month as a Justice Sunday, and all the money collected during our offering is given to a local or national nonprofit organization. Today is our Justice Sunday, and North Carolinians Against Gun Violence will be the recipient of this morning's offering. Becky Kirstas will tell us a little more.
Good morning. and thank you for welcoming me here today. I'm the Executive Director of North Carolinians Against Gun Violence, or NCGV. We're the only nonprofit in North Carolina with a statewide mission to prevent gun violence through education, advocacy, and coordination. For more than 30 years, we have worked to advance and maintain common sense policies, support community-led programs, and bring people together to build safer communities. We are truly facing a public health crisis. According to the CDC, 1,803 North Carolinians lost their lives to a firearm in 2023, increasing by almost 50% in the last 10 years. That means one person died by gun violence every 5 hours. As you may know, guns are now the leading cause of injury death of our children and teens in this state. And these are not just statistics. Each number represents a life lost, a family devastated and forever changed, and a community grieving. At NCGV, we work to lift up the issue of gun violence, to educate and mobilize for public common sense solutions. We do this through engaging with diverse communities, through social media, traditional media, educational workshops, advocacy training sessions, and much more. We leverage this support to fight back against dangerous gun bills at our North Carolina General Assembly, like permitless carry, which would mean that people as young as 18 years old with no training and no background check could carry a hidden loaded weapon in public. Who on earth thinks that this would be a good idea? Because training covers the importance of safe storage and how to securely store a firearm and the importance of it. To defeat this bill, we are hosting a series of phone banking events, showing up with survivor advocates at the General Assembly, giving public comments at legislative committee hearings, and leading postcarding events in targeted districts. Through this work, we have been successful in garnering bipartisan opposition to the permitless carry bill. We also focus on securing support for practical and proven solutions like safe storage, like community violence intervention programs. More broadly, we build coalitions to support a people-powered movement to prevent gun violence and protect communities and families throughout our state. This includes partnering with faith-based communities like yours to expand education and advocacy. Donations enable us to work directly with communities most impacted by gun violence to ensure they have the tools, funding, and policies that plays a key role in reducing gun violence. We also work with people who are just sick and tired of seeing on the nightly news people being injured and killed by gun violence. Ending gun violence takes all of us. It means listening to communities, standing up for common sense solutions, and working together to ensure every North Carolinian can live in safety and peace. Thank you for your time, generosity, and standing with us in this important work.
Thank you, Becky. If you would like to make a contribution in person this morning, we invite you to bring it forward and put it in one of our offering plates. If you would prefer to have an usher come to you, please raise your hand. You may also give by one of the methods, not on our screen, but you can find them on our website. And our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
While both Reverend James and Reverend Carey are away this morning, we welcome to our pulpit Jim Hurdis. Jim has been a member of UUFR for 40 years, since 1985. He's been on the board, on a search committee, led other committees and task forces, taught children and youth, been very involved in social justice, and now even helps as a barista during social hour. He has been passionate about gun control since the tragic high school shooting in Parkland, Florida in 2018. Please welcome our own Jim Hurdis.
Thank you, Warren. Okay, well, I want to start today by asking a question. How many people showed up at No Kings rallies yesterday? Whoa, look at that. And I know there's schedule conflicts. How many showed up at any of the rallies that has been held so far this year? Oh, terrific. I love it, folks. Susan and I were in Apex, and besides about a little over 100 people, there was a shark, a chicken, a hippopotamus, and a cute little dinosaur. And then Donna Duran posted that a little bit down the street in Apex, Santa Claus was there talking about No Kings. Okay, I'm going to start with a poem, We the People. It's all over the news, every day and every night. They show people injured and hurt. They show victims and suspects, all because of a couple rounds of ammo, all because a weapon was poorly used, all because the Second Amendment that was too vague. No, it's all because of some people and the chaos they create. We cannot blame a weapon made by mankind. We cannot blame a gun that cannot pull its own trigger. We cannot blame a bullet that doesn't aim itself purposely at people. We can only blame those hiding behind the weapon. We can only blame those who fail to protect us. We can only blame those who hold a seat of power. We can only blame those parties who refuse to agree. We can only blame lawmakers and those suspects. What we can do is change it. It takes one person to make a difference, and it takes the world to come together and make that change. So I ask, what will we, the people, do about this ongoing issue? Now our choir.
Do not be daunted by the
Thank you. And let's thank the choir for their wonderful music they've supplied today. And the pianist, I forgot. Thank you. My sermon today is about being smart about gun violence. I grew up with shotguns. My dad and I hunted. I was 9 when I was gifted a BB gun. Dad gave me the talk about gun safety. We went outside. He showed me how to carry, load, arm, aim, and shoot the BB gun. He went through the rules of gun safety several times. And as a 9-year-old, I listened and I nodded, but I really just wanted to shoot the gun. I had become skilled with my BB gun. My safety violations were mostly minor. I was almost 12 when I was given a shotgun. Dad gave me more instructions on gun safety. This time he told me, this gun kills. We will use it to kill small game. However, if I was careless, I could injure or kill a person. We used the shotguns for hunting small game, rabbits and pheasants, sometimes just the 2 of us, sometimes with a group of neighbors and friends. When we traveled, our guns were always unloaded and placed in the trunk of a car. As a group, we had a safety talk. Then we lined up in a row and started walking across the field to scare up the game. Each person's target area was in front of and slightly to each side. Did it again. There were times when a rabbit or a pheasant decided to run or fly along that line of hunters. For that situation, we had warning words to stop a person from swinging their gun too close to another person in the line. Awareness of others was a priority. Now, I understand for some here today, this is an unacceptable level of gun violence. Okay, but the gun is being used as a tool for gathering food. In the hunter-gatherer culture, animals are killed for food, just as vegetables are picked in the garden. As I grew up, I participated in hunting and gardening. I grew up around farms. The farmers grew grain and raised livestock, pigs and cattle, for income. For those of us who eat meat, we should realize an animal was killed to package the pork, chicken, or beef we are eating. What hunters do is be directly involved in securing food instead of purchasing it in a store. But honestly, it's been more than 50 years since I hunted or used that gun. I still have good memories. Hunting was an important part of my relationship with my father. It was an important part of the community life where I grew up. It was part of the culture. It is still an important part of the culture in many rural communities, just like the ones I grew up in. But the world has changed. When many of us hear about guns today, they are not part of our fond memories of our growing up years. We think about gun violence, mass shootings, and mass murder. Today, gun deaths account for more than 75% of all homicides. On the weekend of September 29th, just a few weeks ago, there were 6 mass shootings across the country. 2 were in North Carolina. On Millbrook Road in Raleigh, 4 people were shot and injured. At a waterfront bar on Southport, North Carolina, a former Marine with a semi-automatic rifle killed 3 people and injured 8 more. The other locations were Alexandria, Louisiana, Eagle Pass, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, and a Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. In total, 9 people died and 33 were injured. As of Saturday, the gunviolencearchive.org listed 344 mass shootings and 14 mass murders this year. Can you wrap your mind around more than one mass shooting a day? We have become numb. In the year 2000, there was just one mass shooting. How can there be such a tremendous difference in just 25 years? How did we get here? Let me share some specifics about how things changed. In 1993, the Violent Crime Control Act was passed by Congress. As a side note, Senator Joe Biden played a major role in drafting the legislation. It was an omnibus bill. Nationalizing the crime database made it more difficult for criminals to move with impunity from state to state. It provided more funding and more up-to-date technology to police departments. There were stiffer penalties for crimes committed when guns were involved. Also, some gun crimes became federal offenses. An important section of that law was a ban on the sale of 10 specific semi-automatic assault-style firearms and their extended capacity magazines. This bill was active from 1994 to 2004. A sunset clause was crucial to ensure its passage. The presumption was a successor bill would be passed by Congress. The Violent Crime Control Act was proven effective in reducing crime and mass shootings. For many people, the penalties were too strict. Criminals were in prison longer than they should have been. The National Rifles Association position was that no gun control law was acceptable. Their lobbyists pressured our representatives to ignore the law's benefits to the American people. It took till 2023 for a bipartisan Safer Communities Act to change some of that. But then, of course, the president took some of the funding away. The Supreme Court's decision in 2008 of the District of Columbia versus Heller case dramatically changed gun ownership. The ruling opened the floodgates for firearms accessibility. The Supreme Court ruled the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms was an individual right. It was not related to states' rights, service, nor the militia. Those who are constitutional students will tell you the framers wrote the Second Amendment to provide states the right to form a militia to defend themselves from the federal government. It was not intended as an individual right. So here we are. What can we do? The most important thing we can do is not give up hope, nor to believe that there is nothing that can be done about this plague of gun violence. Let's remember things change. Cigarettes and cars without seatbelts used to be the norm, and they killed more people than they do today. But over time, we changed both our laws and our culture. Change is possible. We can work with other organizations advocating for stricter gun control laws. I would personally welcome stricter gun control laws. So would many responsible gun owners like the ones I grew up with. Despite the ways they are sometimes portrayed, surveys show gun owners support universal background checks, safe storage laws, putting restrictions on domestic abusers, and allowing law enforcement to at least temporarily take away firearms from individuals who are a threat to themselves or others. Gun laws work. Massachusetts has some of the strongest gun laws in the country and the lowest rate of gun deaths, 3.7 per 100,000 residents. It has been updating its laws to include ghost guns and 3D printed guns. New York City's homicide rate dropped from 19 per 100,000 in the 90s to just 3 to 5 per 100,000 today. Gun laws are at least partially responsible. By contrast, in 2007, Missouri repealed its 80-year-old permit to purchase law. 80 years. Now it has the fifth highest murder rate, 21.4 deaths per 100,000 residents. The national rate is 6.2. Suicides increased by 25%. But let's be honest this morning. While it's important to keep pushing for legal reform, some parts of our country are suffering from a political stalemate about responsible gun ownership. Still, there are other things we can do while we keep on pushing for legal challenge. We can raise our personal awareness to protect our family. Does that mean that we walk around in fear? No. We need to learn and employ situational awareness. There are many books on this topic. Some relate to the business world. But for this discussion, it is to become more aware of what is happening around you. Always looking has to become second nature. Train yourself to know how to respond to potential dangers. And if a situation pops up, you can be ready to respond and save yourself and your family. You can become a gun violence prevention advocate. I became active after the February 18, 2018 mass shooting at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. This school is in Parkland, Florida. It's a 19-year-old man, Nicholas Cruz, rode to the school in an Uber. He arrived at 2:19 p.m., 20 minutes before dismissal time. He carried an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle in a case and several ammo magazines in his backpack. He was seen on cameras. No alerts were issued. He fired 170 shots, killing 16 students, 3 teachers, and injuring 18 others. Then he walked out of the building and went to a fast food restaurant. The next day, I joined Moms Demand Action Against Gun Violence. Today, we heard from Becky Curtis with the North Carolinians Against Gun Violence. Their webpage, ncgv.org, has excellent information about advocacy, gun safety, and storage. There's a table downstairs where you can learn more. Also downstairs, Be Smart for Kids has a table. They are a source of information about gun safety awareness and how to take steps to protect your children and family. SMART is an acronym, and this is what SMART means. S, secure all guns in your home and vehicles. Every year we read about children who are killed or wounded because they got a hold of a gun and played with a parent's gun. This past May, a 3-year-old in Mebane died when a gun discharged in a car. Also in May, a 14-year-old in Washington, D.C., attempted to record a gun trick on social media. The gun went off. The police were called. She did not survive. Every year there are tragedies like these, and honestly, secure gun storage will prevent most of them. When I grew up, my dad kept our shotguns in his bedroom closet. They were unloaded. The ammunition was in another closet on the top shelf. North Carolinians Against Gun Violence has a page on their site about securing guns. Gun safes to accommodate long guns, gun locks, and lock boxes for handguns. Even if you do not have a gun in your home, you need to talk to your children early and often about gun safety. In 2023, there were 912 children's deaths in North Carolina. 102 of those deaths were from gunshot wounds. No other cause of death claimed as many of our children's lives. M, model responsible behavior. As I already mentioned, my dad trained me how to use firearms, how to clean, store, and care for them. There was no joking. This was serious business. He showed me a bullet wound caused by a careless neighbor. Emphasize to your children 3 things. Do not play with guns. Always assume a gun is dangerous, is loaded and dangerous. And if you see another person playing with a gun, walk away. A, ask about unsecured guns in others' homes. Today is no different than when I grew up. Back then, long guns were kept on wall racks or on display in glass cabinets. No locks. I had an uncle who always carried a small pistol in his pants pocket. When sitting, he would sometimes take it out of the pocket and set it on a nearby table. He had 3 children, but they were trained not to touch Daddy's gun. Careless storing of firearms has not changed. When your child goes to visit a neighbor's or school friend's home, you usually talk to the parents about preferences or food allergies. You should also ask if they have firearms in the home, and if so, are they secured? Ask the questions. Do you have firearms in your home? If yes, are they locked up or easily accessible? If you do not like the answers, it is your decision to allow or not allow your child to visit. R, recognize suicidal behavior. According to a March 2025 report by the CDC, suicide is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. In 2023, there were 1.5 million suicide attempts. Over 49,000 people died by suicide. A gun was used in 27,300 of those deaths, 58%. But there were only 30,000 suicide by gun attempts. The gun is that deadly. On the bright side of this harsh news is that 94% of all people who survived a suicide attempt never try again. A few years ago, before COVID, I was tabling for Moms Demand Action Against Gun Violence. We were at a restaurant bar in Raleigh. Now, I know that's a pretty odd place to be tabling, but the owner was a member and an advocate, and we showed up. We were giving away gun locks, having good conversations. A young man stopped, looked. I asked him if he had a gun at home. He said yes. How do you store it? I asked. Next to him. I asked if he was a vet. Yes. I thanked him for his service and asked if he had moments when he was upset about memories. Yes, he said quietly. Do you have a buddy you can call? Kind of. Okay. I told him the Veterans of Foreign Wars had a crisis hotline. I gave him the number as I handed him a gun lock. I asked him to use the lock, remove the ammo clip from the gun, and store the clip and the key to the lock in another room. He took the lock and thanked me. A vet trained me for this situation, and I hope the conversation helped. This is something all of us can do. If there is immediate danger, we can call 911 and ask for a mobile crisis team. If the danger seems less immediate, we can encourage a person to dial 988. This is a warm line that can give somebody experiencing a difficult situation support. T, tell others. Tell your family, your relatives, distant relatives, tell your friends, your neighbors. If you belong to an organization which wants to discuss gun violence, tell them about North Carolinians Against Gun Violence and Be Smart for Kids. These organizations want to spread the word about stopping gun violence. Tell others by volunteering to make phone calls. Visit our legislature. Talk to your legislator. Volunteer to work with North Carolinians Against Gun Violence and Be Smart for Kids. And please, after the service, talk to the folks tabling downstairs. When we hear about gun violence, it's easy to despair. It's easy to believe there's nothing we can do, but this isn't true. We can each do at least one small thing, and if all our efforts save even one life, it will be worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much for that timely and informative talk. Will you please stand as you're able as for our closing hymn? Our closing hymn this morning is number 168, One More Step. Thank you. As we end this time together, may we do so with ever more love for one another, with ever more gratitude for this precious gift of life we share this very day, with ever more peace in our hearts, and with ever more hope for our own lives in this world we share. Amen.